Hey everyone, welcome back to Gabriella's Kitchen. Today we're making a British classic, homemade scones. Today you're going to need some self-raising flour, baking powder, salt, caster sugar, unsalted butter, whole eggs, some milk or buttermilk and some dried fruit. So we're going to start off by sieving our flour, baking powder and salt. And the reason why we always sieve when we're baking is, one, is to check there's no impurities or little bits or lumps, and two, we're going to add air into our mix. So now we're going to start to work our butter into our flour. This is really important. It has to be really cold from the fridge. If your butter's soft and you start to mix it into the flour, it's going to melt, it's going to start to activate the gluten, and you're not going to get a crumbly scone. So it's really important it's really, really cold. And to make it easier for this next step, make sure you cut it into small pieces. If you get lazy and do it too chunky, you're going to be in this next step for ages. So ice cold, small chunks. We're going to add the butter to the flour and we're going to start to break the butter down into fine crumbs. We're going to be using our fingers and our thumbs to work it. I'm going to show you now the technique. Rubbing the flour back and forth with the butter, you'll end up with a really nice fine crumb like this. It's really important as well when we're doing the finger thumb method to lift up high, and what we're doing there is we're just adding even more air in. So once you're happy with your fine breadcrumb consistency, we can move on to adding our eggs. Feel free guys, at this point you can do this in a food processor, just pulse it 3 or 4 times until you're left with the same consistency. It's much quicker, but I'm a sucker for an old school method. So I've got 2 eggs now and my milk, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine my milk and my eggs together, and we'll add that gradually once we've added our sugar in. We might not need to use all of our egg and milk mixture, so we're going to do this part really slowly and watch it just by eye, and I'll show you the right consistency. So I'm just going to whisk my eggs and then just mix them into my milk mixture. Now, if you can get hold of buttermilk, use buttermilk because it does make the scones so much more decadent and really light. If you've not, whole milk is fine. Or if you really want to, you can actually make your own buttermilk. It's just basically a real simple process of souring milk, and you can do that with lemon juice or vinegar. If anyone wants to do that, just give me a little message and I'll give you the recipe. So now I like to swap to a knife. I just find that it means less mixture is going to stick to it. If you were to use a spoon or a fork, it'll get a bit messy. Just with a knife, work that sugar into the flour and butter mixture, and then we're going to slowly start to add our egg and milk. Just take this part really slow, add a little bit, stop, work it in, and we want it just to come together. We don't need it to be completely wet, we still want a few dry crumbs. So I'm going to go in with a little bit more of my egg and milk mixture, and I'm going to start to use my hands now. Now I've added all my wet mixture, and you can still see there's still some little dry floury patches. That's what we're looking for. We're going to add our dried fruits, or if you want you can add some blueberries or chocolate chips, or leave them completely plain, whatever you fancy. And we're just going to bring that together and then tip it out onto our surface. So at this point we want to bring it together, but we don't want to knead the dough like we would with bread. So it doesn't matter if it's still a bit scraggy, because that's just going to add more texture when they go in the oven. So once it all comes together, we want to just flatten it out. If you feel it's all getting a bit too sticky in your hands, just go in with a little bit of flour, and that'll just help us smooth it out. Quick little tip guys, if your hands are covered in wet mixture like this, just take a bit of flour, rub it together, and it cleans your hands off straight away. Good little tip to have. So now we're going to roll the dough out. We don't want to roll this really, really thin because we want to get a good rise on our scones. So I'm going to start rolling about here. Make sure it's nice and even. If you haven't got a rolling pin, you can just use the backs of your hands at this point. It doesn't have to be as smooth as this. So now we're going to start to cut our scones. You can use whatever you want. If you want to use a fluted cutter, you want to use a round. Sometimes in restaurants we just use a knife and do squares. This means you're not going to get any waste, because if you do circles there's a lot of scraps that get wasted. Or you can use anything you can get that's got a nice circle or square shape to make cuts. Another little tip, dip your cutter in a little bit of flour, and this just means that it's not going to get stuck to the dough if your dough's a little bit wet. Just push down, twist, and then you have a little scone ready to go in its tray. So I've cut out all my scones, but I've still got a lot of mixture left over. So we're just going to re-roll it. At this point, because it's been rolled out once, we don't want to start pushing it together too much. Just be gentle, gather it over until you can get at least one smooth edge, and then give it a quick roll over and cut out a few more. This recipe does make a lot of scones, but I always make extra because there's so many of us in this house, and we always like to give some to neighbours or friends or family. They're a great little gift, especially at this difficult time. So now we're going to egg wash them. So the reason we do this is it adds a really nice golden crust on top of them. You can do this with a whole egg, just with an egg white, or just with an egg yolk. Gives a really rich golden colour. You can even just use a little bit of milk if you want. So I'm going to use some egg yolks because I had some in the fridge from making meringue the other day. You want to just go over the top with your pastry brush. If you haven't got a pastry brush, don't worry, you can just use your fingers. Got all our egg wash on, and I'm just going to finish with a little bit of demerara sugar. So demerara is a really chunky sort of golden sugar, and that just adds a really nice crunch and a bit of a caramel flavour. So just a little sprinkle over the top of all of them. I'm going to go to preheated oven. If you've got a fan, you want to put them in at 180. If it's just a regular 200 degrees. We're going to put them in for about 12 to 15 minutes. We want them to rise and get a nice light golden colour on the top. So these ended up having 20 minutes in the oven, and you can see they're nice and puffed up and they're lovely and golden brown. There you go, homemade scones, perfect for afternoon tea or for breakfast with a little bit of jam. Thanks for watching.